The Guardian is out here saying that She-Hulk is some kind of great symbol for women. I mean, look at this title, Anger Management. Why She-Hulk is such a powerful symbol of female rage. I think women deserve better than She-Hulk. She-Hulk is an awful show. Many people would say it's one of the worst shows ever made, and I would probably agree with them. It's an awful show. It shouldn't be praised for anything. Look at this first sentence. Like, they're going after Trump. For a while during the presidency of Donald Trump, female anger was a big topic of discussion. What does this have to do with She-Hulk? Women in general and American women in particular had, as the Australians say, had a gutful and via movements, hashtag METOO and books, and the Women's March, public expressions of this feeling were prominent. Things have deteriorated since then, thanks in large part to the ultra-conservatives in the Supreme Court, but 5 years later, and 1 million women, but 5 years after about 500,000 women marched on Washington, at least we have a handy new symbol of female rage, She-Hulk. That's right. After all those political movements, you now have She-Hulk. What a bunch of nonsense this is. Like, this is some kind of, like, great show. You know what is a great show that a woman made? Full Metal Alchemist. One woman made that, where you have a bunch of women making She-Hulk, and it's awful. This is funny. Look at that, and then this. How embarrassing. And then the show decided that it was going to go against fans right away. She-Hulk, toxic fandom becomes the big bad, because they knew people were going to criticize the show because it's an awful show. Awful show. It's funny that it always comes down to bad material because nobody has anything negative to say about something like Full Metal Alchemist because it's so good. Like, who cares who made it? It's so good. But this show, which is very, very bad, and I'm not the only one that is saying this, the fact that it's the lowest rated Marvel property ever kind of says something. It also says that critics will shill and just turn their head on this, as they do with most products from Marvel. But 35% is pretty low. Embarrassing, actually. Very, very embarrassing. But I think what was really funny is what they've done, and they've really shown their hand with this latest episode where they pretty much blatantly are trying to say that like, people like Doomcock are villains. Like, I really don't think this is a coincidence. They even use voice changers too. There's this whole scene where they drop this tape and they show a sex tape of Jennifer Walters, and it's funny. Look how they have Hulk King here. Basically, they're mad because She-Hulk exists. And it's funny, like, nobody is mad. Like, people love She-Hulk. She-Hulk's a very liked character, which is what makes this kind of annoying. Like, she's a popular character that people like. The show sucks. People don't like these cheap knockoff characters. She's not a cheap knockoff character. The ones that have been made recently are. Like, all of the characters that have been made over the past couple of years are all cheap token knockoff characters for the most part. And they're trying to move that criticism on She-Hulk, which is funny because it's not true. People love She-Hulk. But it's just funny that they're so open about it. Like, here's their toxic 4chan that they've made, or whatever this Intelligencia is. And now they've made Doomcock a villain in the show. Well, multiple Doomcocks, because there's more than one. But, I mean, I don't think it's a coincidence. You can see it in the mask. Like, it looks modeled after his mask. It really does. And the voice changer really sells it. And I'm not the only one that sees this, by the way, because he's been trending on Twitter since last night. It was on there just a second ago. It's funny. Every time I do these videos, it pops off of the what's happening. But Doomcock himself captured it right here. And you see trending Doomcock. It's because everybody else notices it. And this is a very appropriate meme too, by the way. The show about nothing, because it is about nothing. And it's nowhere near as good as Seinfeld. This will go down as one of the worst shows of all time. It's just funny. Whole writer's room of women, and they've made the worst show of all time. I don't know if it's the worst show of all time, but it's definitely the worst Marvel property of all time. That's why the audience score is so low. There's nothing worse than She-Hulk. Miss Marvel had bad ratings, but for what I hear from people that actually watch that show is that it was okay. Like, it's a good teen show, which is fine. I didn't watch the show. I just don't really care about that character. But I've heard from some people that they actually liked it. I haven't heard from anybody that She-Hulk is good. Even for those of you who watch Flashcast, Lofty hated that show. And he's loved everything that's Marvel so far. So that's saying something, how bad this She-Hulk show really, truly is. But here it's trending, and now you can see it. You can see it right over here. A lot of people are talking about it, and that's because everyone notices the resemblance. Also, by the way, a lot of people mad about Daredevil's appearance. MovieWeb says it's dividing fan opinions. I don't think so. Everyone seems to be in agreement that Daredevil's appearance on the show, which was highly hyped, is a disaster. The walk of shame scene, disaster. But of course, shills out there are jumping to the chance to mock fans that are upset by this and saying, oh, they're mad because the hero had sex and that's unrealistic to them because they're incels. Because, of course, everybody that complains about Marvel's low quality and awful, awful storytelling lately are a bunch of incels. Of course, that's how the criticism is always pushed off. I just find it funny. There's never these controversies for good shows or good movies. Never. It's almost like the istophobes. They just take the weekend off. Well, we'll just let it pass with this one. When are people going to wake up to this bullshit? That's what I always wonder. When are they going to realize that these people are fake phonies and they're just pushing off of the fact and detracting away that these products that they're shilling for are all trash? Probably never. As long as Disney keeps giving out tote bags and early access, these people will pretty much bow down and work that Mickey Mouse zipper as quick as possible. But anyway, She-Hulk sucks. The awful show. Let me know in the comments what you think about it. Also, if you would, please like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit that notification bell, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace. Make sure to check out my locals. There's a link in the description. It's a fun community that I'm trying to build over here. If you don't want to support me on YouTube, you can come over here. None of that money goes to YouTube. You also can just come over here for free. But if you are a supporter over here, I do plan on doing an extra live stream once a month and throwing links to the supporters so you can actually come on and have a supporter live stream with me. Also, it's a good place to catch all of my content. You don't have to worry about notifications like YouTube. They'll definitely work over here. So come check out my locals.